Greetings and welcome to my dear Taurus. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Welcome to the channel. I shall be channeling for the second house, the energy of Taurus, essentially the energy of possession as well as materialization of the Hierophant's energy. This encompasses essentially, this reading encompasses three different iterations. Each iteration is known as a portal. This is the three portals reading. My name is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Tarot of the Twin Sun is a functional division within the Order of the Twin Sun. I do welcome you to the channel. Thanks for your support, your donations, as well as your requests for any private readings. I do wish you well for the month of March 2021. We'll be working from the Tarot of Forbidden Dreams deck by Eugene Vinitsky, as well as Elsa Kapatanukovsky. Ooh, that's one hell of a name. It's a beautiful deck. Forewarning, it is an erotic deck, so please take only what you will. Remember to use your discretion. Okay. The first portal is open. This has to do with the energy of drive and ambition, revolving around the locus of new beginnings, secret new beginnings. Okay, there's something that you've been trying to manifest in terms of an inner desire, something that is tied directly to the energy of the child that is forewarned, but also not really heeding to that warning. There's something of a secret pleasure or a secret want, a secret need for you to execute. This moves from the energy of 4 to 0 to 6, okay? In the past, there's something of a type of detachment, but also objectification, a way for you to be distant from things that you have been inflicting a great deal of efforts to, okay? Essentially, there's something about you succumbing to a secret hidden pleasure or something of the like in that respect. This has to do with the adventurous side of you, a possibility of exploring a newness, as well as walking paths that are hidden, but also that lead to pleasure, pleasure of the highest degree. The near future, there is a possibility of really encompassing this pleasure, but at a cost. Okay. Underscoring all of this is something of an ideal aspect or an idealized way of thinking or seeing or viewing things, an idealized and adventurous way of really encapsulating that youthful, fervorful energy of a child or someone who is prepubescent. And there's an ability for you to essentially come into the explorative aspects of that. This comes from a place of stagnation of the heart trying to express what it so longs to sing in terms of melodies or rhythmic qualities. And this oscillation now coming into some type of realism, a reality that is hidden, that is also based on a type of conquering inner demons, conquering the inner suppressed natures, okay? By actually letting them through, by letting them, sort of express their strengths, express their hidden qualities that may be subtle in nature. So there's overall a subtlety in this reading that deals with a great deal of tension, release, the ability to let loose conservative ways, and to perhaps also to take note of that, to take rest in it, and to be pleasured in many different ways. um, this also deals with a way of being detached, not being committed to much of anything other than your own sort of proclivities, whatever those may be. Okay? Meaning that there is a rite of passage here that is hidden, but also that is being manicured or well groomed in a way. And this is leading to a type of stratification, okay, of things of ascension, things of trying to build things, okay, trying to make something of yourself, okay. There is a subtle way of doing things in terms of the inner need to express newness, okay. Newness that steps away from conservative idealisms and will be fruitful in terms of creating meaningful connections with others, okay, that are respectful, but also that require a great deal of intensity and sincerity, okay. There also is a part of you that needs to shed in terms of conservative ways of holding your energy, your resources, your own resources. And this new secret path of the Fool will help you to understand ways in which you can once again make those very meaningful connections that would be lasting in terms of their affect on you. Okay. In this respect, there is a type of secret sadness because these secret pleasures and these hidden paths of glory cannot be celebrated in the light of day, but they will have lasting effect in terms of once again affections that need to be expressed. Okay, I'm going to switch out of this deck. It's a bit raunchy, but that is Tarot of Forbidden Dreams for you, quasi-Victorian smut. Uh, but let's get out of that one and quickly move over to the bicycle deck for a karmic reading. The first portal is closed. This portal deals with actions and motivations between key players. Could be key players in terms of your own path, what's going on in realities, and how karma is affecting these in terms of actions, and how you may free yourself from karma if that is necessary. Remember, karma is neither good nor bad. It is merely cause and effect and relation. It's relative in nature. So, yeah. Please toss that like if you enjoy the content. It does help the channel. And yeah, subscribe if you would like future readings, free readings. Okay. Okay. There's someone that may be your equal, that is a type of competitor of yours, a rival, that is affecting deep unconscious motivations. Your power center is affected by this individual, and this individual has something in plan, in store for what is going to pan out in terms of an escape route or the end of a cycle and then an escape route. There's something about them that is tied directly to the need to release something, but then not being able to glean once they've released from that situation, okay? Whatever they're dealing with, they're trying to glean some sort of truth, to harvest some sort of truth in order to portray to you in a very sincere way, under the cover of darkness, some form of truth, okay? This truth comes in the form of inspiration as well as bringing in, essentially, messages that are enlightening in nature, that are going to help burn essentially anything that needs to be taken into account in terms of excess. Okay, it burns excess. This person's energy will burn excess around your relation to them. They have an effect on you. This also could be within yourself, a different version of yourself that is more concerned with realities that are tied to the energy of Taurus. So the second house, as well as the earth house, the house of immateriality, the house of abstraction. Okay. What I'm seeing here is a strong indication of the eight, the mystery of the eight, strongly indicated here. Speaking of the eighth has to do with the nodal axis between various modes of polarization. Okay, and this axis is null. It's zero. There's something about this that stems from a deep past that is related to different crossings, and both of you, or this could be someone else, or this could be a different version of you, could be tied to this energy of the eight, which is scorpionic in nature, your seventh house. Okay, in this respect, there is a type of, I would say, psychological motivation that is tied to empowerment, that has to do with realities versus more emotional capacities, creative, intuitive intelligences, okay, that need to be expressed. This is a reading of the student, and I'm seeing versions of the student within you that have to do with essentially uh, the departure from something, but also in that the need to escape in a very intensified way, situations of stagnation. Okay, Moon in Libra, very strong here. The Two of Swords, also Gemini energy, dual sort of ways of seeing things, exploring very intense modes of psychological creations that have manifested themselves within your mind. And these are informing you to essentially find either a place of rest and detachment, or to truly accept what is coming to you. What is coming to you is a big, interesting sort of wall. This wall is developed around the Seven of Pentacles energy, which has to do with expectations. And these expectations are great, meaning that if you receive from the future certain things that have to do with these intensities, they will express themselves as walls of um, walls of expectation. And these walls are quite high. In order to scale them and to get to the exterior of that, in terms of what you're trying to create, in terms of what you're trying to live by, in terms of emotional resonances, value systems that are tied around your core creative impulses, these will reach these walls of reality. And perhaps there's something about you that is developing a way of really developing a type of method, okay, in a Virgoan type of way, excuse me, a method that will lead an escape route for these walls, okay? But therein is expectation. It is quite great, and perhaps any truth that you choose to cut the walls of expectation will be coming short in terms of what you can value in the end of that. You are becoming a student of this in terms of realities, okay? And this will empower you in a certain way, leading to the eight cycles of, once again, avoidance as well as entrapment, but also freedom in a way, freedom to do what you want according to how you can use the fire, the fire that will to burn these walls, essentially. That's what I'm seeing. And the more you sling verbal, sort of, or thoughtful modes at this wall, you're going to realize that only truth of the highest degree will disintegrate these barriers. Okay? I don't feel like the Italian deck right now. I'll go with the Frenchies. Frenchies. So we'll go ahead and move to the final segment for the energy of Taurus. Okay, the second portal is closed. The third portal is now opening. This shall be a mirror that will possibly show certain actions and modes of karma between you and a significant other. We'll go ahead and look into it. Okay, this is so far an interesting reading. There is a figure within this, someone who is trying to act maturely but is retroactively looking back. In time, what this person is looking into is the failure of certain things. Someone is still watching you. They're also encompassing you in terms of hidden maturities that need to be expressed in terms of investments of thought, investments of communication that need to be expressed. Okay, you are surrounded. It's either you are surrounded by someone who is strongly aware of their power in terms of the mental aspect of it, or they're on the path towards something else, and perhaps you are moving towards the energy of Scorpio and Libra, the eighth and ninth house, or seventh and eighth houses. Okay, this talks about dissolution of the self with expectations that have come in the form of a union that could not sort of work out. There's an element of cutting away from this and essentially moving on to something else. What that is essentially truly embodying truth, as well as karma, as well as karmic justice, in a way. Okay, um, but there we have it. Someone is moving in terms of looking back and moving forward. Um, there's someone here who is maturing in terms of practicalities, reason, as well as motivations of the mind, as well as intellect of the highest degree. This person is essentially becoming more emotionally, intellectually aware. What this is in terms of you and the energy of someone else, someone is quite in the defensive mode, or perhaps parlaying with external sort of things. Okay, let's see what they're doing. Okay, the evolution of the king. Once again, the king is here negotiating options, choices, healthy choices, or perhaps trying to essentially find a way to let go of the expectations of, let's see, the Six of Cups in reverse versus the fear factor that is motivating this king. Okay, yeah. So what is showing up here is an echo of the Page of Swords as well as the King of Swords. King of Swords and the Page of Swords here, motivated by thoughts or looking back in terms of seeing someone or dealing with someone who is on edge with Virgo and Taurian sort of complexities, configurations within their chart that symbolizes, this person symbolizes a type of lost love or something of the like in that respect. There could be a resurgence of certain things, but that is what this person is trying to do. And in fact, they are parlaying, so there's some sort of ceasefire in terms of the energies of them and someone else, and they're trying to hold their ground. But what is coming into manifest because of such, the eventual sort of territory that they're dealing with, that they're trying to protect, will essentially collapse in a way. This is not a bad thing, though. There's something about what they do and how they behave that revolves around distance, distancing, as well as the complexity of avoidance, also the ability to let go in one of the more difficult ways. There's something that this person is processing that is taking ages, and it has to do with reparations of what can be held in terms of the feeling of home, the definition of home, through what they can what they can protect. But what is occurring is essentially a lesson of Saturn, but also of Pluto and the energy of the Sun that is disintegrating them. And perhaps there's something about them that wants to be disintegrated in terms of what they have, okay? What they're trying to protect. This person could be a friend. They also could be someone from a distant past, someone of meaning, or someone who has a youthful persona to them. What they are missing is that their actions, which are in a way trying to protect your field of influence as well. There's something about this that is kind of influencing you in a negative way, and there are cycles of thought that may revolve around this person that paints them as someone who is careless, okay? So, in this respect, there's something about you that is moving away from this energy, but what unites the two in terms of a bridge or in terms of the connection itself, it's tied to the energy of the Four of Cups, which is about detachment, but also a type of temptation that comes out of this connection. Perhaps this is something that has tempted you for quite some time, and perhaps for the moment there are cycles of thought that have to do with either betrayal, or an apparent betrayal, or some form of difficulty in terms of the thoughts that are essentially going into circles and not really getting far from the truth. Okay, so there's a type of truth that is difficult for you to bear, and that it it sort of goes against your core principles. And there's two ways of thinking about this, but then there's a third middle ground that you should possibly consider. This middle ground will help you find footing and to moving into modes of the future, away from this person's energy, whoever they are. They could be someone who is dear or beloved or not. It really depends. They have a significant sort of lesson to teach you about temptation. Okay. Also, there is some form of connection here that has to do with the release of regret, but also the intensity of Venus and Scorpio. Okay, and Scorpio is your seventh house, so there is something that relates to that energy. Okay, the Seven of Cups, which is all about delusion, also intensity in Plutonic way, but also in the way of Neptune, the dream world being evoked here. The choice is yours, but I think there's something about you that needs to find footing and make a method, and conserve your energy, take a gamble elsewhere, outside of temptation, take some sort of proper steps away from the energy in order to find a new beginning, one that you're trying to plant and sow yourself to find newness, okay? When it comes to this, there is a shape-shifting energy around this person that is tied to the energy of Gemini, but also concerned with the energy of Aries, as well the energy of Scorpio. There is a drive within this person that has to do with the motivations of and the excuse me, the expectations of intellectual capacities that are emotional in nature. Okay, in terms of advice, you must let this rest. The four shifts to the four, from the Four of Cups into the Four of Swords. If this occurs, then there's something that you can glean from this. At least a way of cutting or extricating yourself and bringing your own reserves in order to truly live by truths and to find that rest that may be being sought out. Okay, peace of mind is really important, and it's important for you to find that stage within this connection. Okay, by either severing it or by moving away in method and in the strongest footing you can find in terms of paths. Okay. But this person, there's something about them that needs to essentially mature, and perhaps they're doing so. Perhaps there will be some sort of potentiality in terms of reconciliation. But the underscoring thing is that there is a strong gravitas, but this person is constantly dealing with karmas that are outside of your connection, that are tied to a very, very deep, very deep aspects of cold and precision that need to be executed with an equal of their own. Okay, that is what I'm seeing. Doesn't have to resonate for you, but yeah. Otherwise, I will see you next month in April already. Who, March, April? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, happy solstice, and happy new year in terms of the energies of the cycling of Aries and the new year for the zodiac and the sun signs. So yeah, happy new solar year, happy solar return. Thank you very much, and bye bye.